Hello and welcome back to the John and Adrian podcast. The Lakers won the NFL Finals, John. Pretty crazy.
Finals.
NBA. Yeah, NBA Finals. Pretty crazy, dude. Pretty crazy. Now, before, obviously, crazy. Like, JR literally, before, like, the timer was up, already had his shirt off. I don't know about you, John, but I'm celebrating since the finals. I haven't had a shirt on, you know. I've been JRing it, you know. He's my hero, honestly. Like, the man is a god. So if he doesn't need a shirt, then we don't need one. Nobody does. And but how I think so obviously LeBron won the Finals MVP. And we both said AD should win it, but when I said he should win the Finals MVP, I was kind of thinking, I was coming from the point where it's like, if he wins the Finals MVP, he'll probably be more inclined to stay. Yeah, that's where I was coming from. But obviously, LeBron deserves it. Like, he balled out and whatnot.
Yeah, the last game.
And then, how familiar are you with the meme of like a lot of like memes and stuff came out from this like finals, like game 6 and like game 5, and it's just like hilarious. Like Bronny getting a whooping the moment LeBron James gets home. That one is personally my favorite because like I think during the Nuggets series, like a video surfaced of like Bronny smoking the illegal substance. Allegedly, I don't know, you know, right? It could be him, it could not be him, who knows? And it's just like this running joke that like Bronny's gonna get his booty hole, he's gonna get like, you know, walloped by James when he gets home. And so like everyone's like, the only reason Jimmy Butler's been playing so good is like Bronny has been like coming in there, taking his identity, stuff like that. And then my favorite one was Quinn Cook got left behind at the arena. Did you hear about this one, John? So no. so like, you know, the you know how like the champagne showers and whatnot, like, right? So they were done with all that, so like they were loading everything back onto the buses. JR was doing a live stream, you know, doing JR things like partying and whatnot, and Quinn Cook just starts commenting, "Yo, turn the bus around. Y'all left me in the arena. I just want a chip and I have to walk my ass home." Stuff like that is like, so they left him at the arena, and I don't know how he got to the hotels and whatnot, but I'm assuming he got home eventually, which that was hilarious because like he was just commenting in JR's live stream like, "Yo, JR, turn the bus around, like come get me." And obviously he wasn't paying attention to the chat, like, yeah. He was out partying. So that was stuff like that. It's funny. I don't know if anything else came from the finals that was like just like funny and whatnot. I mean, I guess game 5 was controversial in the way that like people were discussing whether or not LeBron should have like charged to like try to get the foul at the end or like pass out to Danny Green, which I think the pass out to Danny Green was a good play. It's Morris's play, like when he got the rebound, that was like idiotic, but you know, still won the chip, bro, so it doesn't matter, right?
Still won it by a lot too.
Yeah, like they blew them out.
Like these little plays they're not that big of a deal now,
right? Like all said and done, it's the series is over. The Lakers blew out the Heat in game 6, so easy money. Which the only games that were like close realistically were the games that the Heat won, which is, I mean, good for the Heat. Like Jimmy Butler, he balled out. He balled out. Like, man, gotta give him respect. Like, and then this also, I think, sets up the Heat really well for next year because they have a lot of cap space. They can bring in a superstar. A lot of people are saying like Giannis or somebody, right? Like,
Well, even if they don't bring in Giannis, if Giannis leaves the East, I think they become the new favorites.
Right. Even I think Giannis will stay in the East. I feel like he has a better shot at getting to the finals if he stays in the
That's
East.
what we said about LeBron, and then look what happened.
Oh.
LeBron was guaranteed the finals if he stayed in the East.
right. Which what was it? He hasn't missed the finals since he obviously missed it last year, but like the Lakers were dead. But like before that, he's been to every single final since 2010 or something.
Something like that.
Stupid run. And then, but I mean, the Heat are definitely set up for like a return to the finals, right? Like everyone on their team is essentially young.
Let's keep in mind they were the 5th seed going, or is this? Yeah, they were the 5th seed going into this playoffs.
Yeah,
that's after the bubble games, so they weren't exactly like dominating the East. It's the playoffs where they showed up.
Yeah,
they dominated in the bubble. So I don't know, because I remember at the beginning of the season they were doing good, and then they started falling off. So this bubble really helped them in their season. I don't know how well they'll be able to replicate it next season.
Right. But see, what I'm thinking is all they have to do is get to the playoffs, right? Like if they're good in the playoffs, they just have to get back into the playoffs. And I think they'll be able to do that in the East because, there's only like, say 9 playoff contenders in the East, right? So it's like they just have to beat out one other team to get into the playoffs.
Not even 9, but there's 6 playoff teams in the East. Okay, let's be real. They had one more win than the 76ers and one less win than the Pacers. Okay, and then they were 5.
We got to look at the Nuggets
or the Nets at 7.
Well, they were without Kyrie and KD, so we're assuming that they'll get better. Actually, the 76ers are probably going to implode because they brought in Doc.
The Nets are just going to flip, okay?
Right. The Pacers are probably going to go downward spiral because they're most likely going to lose Oladipo.
That's true.
Oh, God.
That leaves 6 teams, okay? There's
5. Yeah.
Good teams. And if Giannis leaves and goes to the Heat or something, then...
wow. Okay, yeah. No, looking at the East, the Heat are definitely getting back into the playoffs, right? Like they're, like I said, they're in a really good spot to come back.
The bottom seed won 45% of their games. Okay, the Heat just need to win 45% of their games and they get in the playoffs.
And 45% would have gotten you the 12th seed in the West. God, and then in the West is only going to get harder next season because like the Grizzlies are going to start competing, the Suns are going to get better. We're assuming the Pelicans are going to get better because that's a young core. The Warriors
are coming back.
The Warriors are going to come back. Like this West is
I
stupid.
Think the Rockets are finally going to fall.
Oh yeah, no. They lost Mike D'Antoni. Right,
so they're out, and I'd say you could basically replace the Warriors with them.
Right.
The Thunder will be an interesting team to watch.
Oh yeah.
Do they do it again, or do they finally fall off?
Well, they have 2 first-round picks. I think like 1 or 2 second-rounders. They're most likely going to trade some of that capital.
They probably should trade it. Yeah.
Right. They're going to trade some of that capital.
Trade it for players. They could trade it for picks next year.
Right.
I think the players are better.
Well, if that also they could possibly trade CP3 for to the Knicks or something and get some young talent out of the Knicks organization, right? I'm just saying the Knicks because I'm assuming the Knicks would do something stupid like that, right?
I could honestly see them pulling off something like CP3 and a pick for Ben Simmons.
Oh, you know what? If Ben Simmons ever develops any type of jump shot, he's going to be a god. So maybe he just needs to get out of the 76ers organization. We saw what they did to Markelle Fultz. Like maybe they just can't develop a jump shot. Maybe that's their problem. Yeah, no, it's like the next season I think is definitely going to be a good season of basketball because like I see the Lakers I think the Clippers might implode. Like
I don't know about implode. It depends if they hire Mike D'Antoni, then yeah, they're gonna implode. But if they they go
from the 2 seed to like the 6 seed. That's my version of implosion, right? Instead of being like this powerhouse, right? for them, that's like a massive step down because
that's
like
a major step down. Yeah,
they should be competing for titles, but they can't because they had Pandemic P that just flopped on the floor.
I think they could honestly just flip with the Mavericks, and that'd be.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a realistic projection.
See, the Warriors, and like we're going all separate directions here, but like looking at the Warriors, like they're getting everybody back, and I genuinely don't think they're going to use they're like their number 2 overall pick.
Yeah,
they're going to trade that pick for something, and that something's going to be good, right?
Like get D'Angelo Russell back.
No. Oh. Okay, so D'Angelo Russell got traded from the Lakers after the Lakers picked up LaMelo, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now with the first overall pick, a lot of people saying that LaMelo is like a second overall pick. So there's a bunch of people going, what if LaMelo gets drafted by the Timberwolves and then they trade away D'Angelo and it just happens to him again? Like the Bob brothers are his like bane of existence and he just can't catch a break.
I definitely see that happening because he's worth, I mean, a good amount in terms of trade assets.
He is. Like he's a good player. It's just he just hasn't been getting lucky.
Over like a PG or something. Like I honestly, if the Clippers traded the Wolves for D'Angelo Russell, like PG for D'Angelo Russell, just straight up, obviously the Clippers are getting the better end of that deal, and they'd be a lot better.
Right. Yeah. No. Honestly, yeah, dude. Paul George, his trade value has gone down immensely. I think the Clippers would probably have to throw in their first round pick just to get rid of him. But yeah, no, NBA is going to be fun next year. But the off season is going to be fun too, just to see where like players end up. Which I mean, I think that's like my favorite times of basketball is like the off season and then playoffs. In between is kind of I enjoy watching it.
About the regular season,
right? Like I enjoy watching it, but it's like
but it's like I'm getting a better product come playoffs. So
right. Right. Okay, NFL time, John. NFL time. Jaguars, Texans. The Texans did it, John. They finally won.
I shouldn't have listened to you.
No,
I was looking back at the season projections I made before the season started, and I had the Texans going 0-4 and then winning this game. And I should have just looked back at that and just stuck with it, and I would have got this game right.
I think, to be fair, I think we both brought each other down. I think we got into this like thing of like, well, they're bad. Yes, they're bad. Of course they're bad. Yeah. And we just like went back and forth like, well, then of course they lose, right? Like,
yeah. Every season, I like during the pick'ems, you buy into that weekly hype or hate, and it's just terrible. And then every season, I look back at my like beginning of the year projections, and it's like besides 2 or 3 teams, I got basically all of them right by 1 or 2 games at least. And I'm like, damn, if I just stuck with that, I would have been so much better off than just fluctuate. Because even with injuries and stuff, it's like the core team doesn't change too much.
The thing that interests me about the Texans is I think they rank the highest among like NFL teams with like, okay, this is going to be like really stupid. I don't know. So they have no rookies getting any snaps for them. So they are the highest ranked, like they're the team with the least snaps given to rookies, right? I don't know if that made any sense to you.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so there's really no rookies playing for them. It's all veterans and like.
Think about who do they draft?
Would that
start?
No, that's the thing though. Their veterans aren't the right veterans, right? Like that's why they're in this situation. Yeah. It's just like they just don't like. They have old heads, but like if you have a dude that can't catch that's been in the league for 5 years, 1, why is he still in the league? 2, why do you have him on your team? You know, like
like why didn't you try? This is another sign of Bill O'Brien needing to leave the building.
Right, and I forget, but I think we both watch him. I can't remember his name right now, but he's like, you know, one of those like NFL YouTubers that release like film breakdowns and stuff like that. And he did a video on the Texans talking about like their Texans trouble really started when they traded away their starting left tackle from like 2-3 years ago for like pennies on the dollar, and then went out and traded for Laremy Tunsil, right? Like
Yeah.
the left tackle that they traded away is just as good as Lemmy Tunsil, except Lemmy Tunsil cost like twice as much, So it's like,
I think you're talking about Brett Kollmann.
yes, okay, that's his name. Yeah, and so he did a video breaking that down, and it's really good. So yeah, Jaguars. Both bad teams. One of them had to win.
Yeah. Again, it's divisions. Even though home team advantage doesn't work, even if the Texans aren't playing in Houston, or even though they're playing in Houston and they don't have the big, massive stadium full of people
Right.
to cheer them on, they still have. It's a division rivalry
Yeah.
game. They're gonna split with this team probably, and more than likely, it's gonna be the home game that they win.
Mm-hmm. Bengals, Ravens. We both should have picked the Ravens, right?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
I think we picked all the same team.
Okay. I think we.
Yeah, we picked all the same teams this week.
Okay. Was there any? I don't think. Yeah, I don't think there's this week. Looking back at it, like from where we were, there was like really nowhere to disagree on. But Bengals, Ravens. The Bengals should draft more offensive linemen or go sign to offensive linemen. Like Joe Burrow, I think we said this like week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. He's getting murdered. Like he's getting tossed around back there.
Sacks. I think he had 2 fumbles. He was getting destroyed by a defensive line. I mean, the Ravens have a good defensive line, but they aren't the Redskins or the Niners or anything like that.
Like they don't have a top defensive lineman on their like team that
they're
just
top half, but not top.
Right. Like the Ravens, when I think of their defense, I don't think of their defense as like pin ears back, go kill the quarterback. It's more like
I think of their DBs. I think of Marlon Humphrey.
Right.
I think of Marcus Peters. I think of what is his name? Jefferson.
Right.
I don't think and Calais Campbell. That's the only defensive lineman on their team.
Right. So the Ravens did good. Trace McSorley and Lamar Jackson combined for 270 yards and 2 touchdowns this game.
God.
They killed it. What, John? They combined. All right.
That's fine. That's not technically wrong.
It's not. It really isn't.
All right. Finally got a Panthers game, right?
We did.
Hey, we're improving.
Okay, I think
this was cheating though, because the Falcons aren't gonna win a game.
No. Oh well, big news for Falcons fans. They finally fired their GM and head coach. Okay.
Both of them.
I believe so. And
they're really gonna suck for the rest of the season.
Well, okay, so the Falcons defensive coordinator is now their interim head coach, so it's only downhill, baby. It's only downhill from here.
You were at the bottom of the barrel, and all you did was make the bottom lower. Like you're in a 6-foot hole, and you're like, nah, it ain't deep enough. So you dug it 7 feet.
No, arguably the Falcons have the worst defense in the league, and they just
the Cowboys have the worst defense in the league. The Falcons might be second, but I know for a fact the Cowboys have statistically the worst defense in the league.
But I'm saying, like, the Falcons defense blows leads. They, you know, like the Falcons offense is good.
Like anyone good on their defense,
right?
Maybe their middle linebacker. Deion Jones.
Yeah, no, the Falcons have only gone downhill. Which, granted, they're most likely in rebuild mode and are going to start shipping out talent.
They've been in rebuild mode since the Super Bowl, bro.
No, John. They've kept Matt Ryan. They've just had to fix their defense, and they physically can't do that for some reason. But their owner came out and said that like he can't guarantee keeping Matt Ryan for like the future and whatnot. So they're probably going to end up with like a Justin Fields or Trey Lance this upcoming season. Which
I don't like that. I feel like they should use their first overall pick to get a good defensive player. Like,
no, John, they don't know defense. They can't do defense. Or they can
just trade it away, then get better picks later. But drafting a quarterback when you have a top 10, top 15 quarterback is not a wise move.
Well, what if he just doesn't want to be there, John? Okay, have you ever thought about that? What if he just wants to be somewhere else?
He has the best receiver core in the league. I don't think he wants to be.
And their defense blows games, John. All right, like I'd want to kill myself too if like I'm dropping 50 points a game and the defense is giving up 55. Like, what are you supposed to do? There's genuinely nothing you can do.
Score one more point, bro. The favor was reality. It doesn't matter how many points your defense gives up. You get one more point on that.
Right. Which the shocker of this week was the Raiders upset the Chiefs. And boy, was this annoying, because all social media was, we told you so, Raiders Nation, we're going to the Super Bowl, stuff like that. And
Love Raider Nation.
Yeah, you love it. You gotta love it.
I am surprised that the Raiders were the team to upset the Chiefs. And
Right.
I'm more surprised that they did it in this game, right? Like, if they did it later when it's Las Vegas, I'd be like, all right, home game. But they went into Arrowhead, not Mile High. They went into Arrowhead and they won the game, and that's very impressive, especially since they dropped 40 on.
Yeah, they played.
They outscored their offense. That's
right.
Very good.
Yeah, no. I think Patrick went home to the final drive of the game, like threw an interception or something. So, like they beat them. Good game. Good job.
Solid win.
They're still 3-2 and second in their division, I think.
Yeah, you beat the number one team, but you're not the number one team. So,
right. So it's like, you did it. Good job. Wow. Cash money.
Cardinals, Jets. Cardinals won.
Not much to say.
Murray's helping me out in fantasy. That's pretty much all I got.
Le'Veon Bell looks promising. I might just leave him on injured reserve if they don't kick him off of that, because technically he's off of it. But in fantasy, they haven't kicked him off injured reserve, so we'll see how long I can just.
Week has to update. So Thursday, if he's not on injured reserve anymore, then you'll know.
Well, I mean, I have an empty slot on my roster just in case, but like if they just leave him there on injured reserve, I'm not going to touch him until I absolutely need him in my lineup. So Eagles, Eagles Steelers. The Eagles played good. They showed an offense. They scared the Steelers. The only thing I have about this game is that Jordan, the one receiver he's been hyping up all year, finally popped off. And guess where he was, John? Guess where
on his bench.
On his bench.
He had 4 of the Steelers, I think 5 touchdowns. He had almost 200 offensive yards, and he had him on his bench. I'm like, Brett, you should have started him. And in his defense, I wouldn't have started him this week.
Right.
Looking at the other receivers he had, because it was either him or Justin Jefferson, and the Seahawks have the 31st worst pass defense. So I wouldn't have started him either in that situation. But still, like, this is your supposed guy.
Well, Jordan's whole philosophy is boom or bust, right? And so
he's booming, but leaving the booms on the bench, and I don't.
Well, like, it's boom or bust. Just leave the players that you believe are gonna boom in there. You know?
Yeah. Put all your sleepers in every week, Jordan. That's the only way you have. It's the only chance you got.
Right. Like, if genuinely, that's what. If we take out Jefferson, right? That's like another. Oh, he would have won.
Is he?
He would have won. Yeah, that's enough. He scored 42 points, John.
Oh yeah, Jefferson only got 6, huh?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that's what, 36? No, 30. Yeah, 36.
So 20,
yeah, he would have won 160 to 157.
He would have won. Like, that one player lost him the game.
One player lost him the game.
Yeah. That one player lost him the game. That's crazy. That would have been his first win too. That's rough. And like,
ouch.
Ivan's team outperformed, and he still would have beaten that team. So that's crazy.
He had 5 people in his starting lineup, or Jordan had 6 people in his starting lineup combined for less than 15 points. But if he put Chase Claypool in for one of them, just for one of them, then he would have won the game.
He would have won, which is devastating. I mean, I bet Jordan's happy that his Steelers won, but like, boys has lost every single game in fantasy. Like
he's 0-5 now.
that's got his heart, his pride just a little bit,
Like,
just a little bit.
Shitting on him. This is just you had the one chance to finally win, and it didn't happen.
Right, like no one has this shitty of luck. Honest to God, like something he's just doing
this
something
isn't even
wrong.
bad coaching. It's just like again, like neither of us would have started Chase Claypool in this situation. It's just
Right,
Claypool had to go off, and if anyone was going to start him, it would have been Jordan.
like Jordan would have had the most faith to start him. Like
Yeah,
I would have considered it, but I'm like, no. I mean, Jefferson is Jefferson. Jordan might have been like, but I love him. He's my man, you know. Mapletron, he can do it. But yeah, the Eagles, they're half dead, and they scared the Steelers in this game. Like people, like there was a point in this game where it's like, oh, the Eagles might win. Oh, the Eagles are bad, right? Like, Rams, Washington. Alex Smith came back. He's back, baby.
Two big comeback. Alex Smith and Chase Young came back this game too. So Redskins are looking up.
Chase Young isn't that big of a deal, John. But
bro, he's the best defensive lineman in the league. No cap.
So Alex Smith came back in this game, and I believe literally like a play later, Aaron Donald had Alex Smith gave him a piggyback ride. Like he just jumped on Alex Smith's back and rode him for like 3 or 4 steps, and then Alex Smith went down. But yeah, he's back. The only reason he came back is because Jalen Ramsey murdered Kyle Allen and took him out the game.
Or Dwayne Haskins, he got double benched.
He went from starter to third string, which he's definitely going to get traded. Like Ron Rivera just doesn't like him.
I don't like him either, but
I mean, you gotta give. I mean, I guess they gave him 4 games, but
so I didn't. He played last season too. Don't forget that.
Well,
and he's got his number one option is a guy he played with in college, Terry McLaurin.
Right.
He should have the chemistry.
Well, I mean,
I'll admit he has the chemistry with Terry McLaurin.
Just not the rest of his roster.
Yeah, not the rest of the roster.
Which I mean, you can't just shove it down one wide receiver's throat. Like it just, I guess unless you're Drew Brees. Yeah. I mean, yeah, Michael Thomas gets the brunt of Drew Brees's just treatment, just every single ball down his throat. Other than that, the Rams played good. They played really well in the first quarter and really well in the fourth quarter, and kind of dipped in the middle down to like the Washington's level. So if they're gonna compete, they got to fix that. Like they can't just salty.
I had Darrell Henderson on my team, and then I was like, he's playing the Redskins, who have a top 10 defense or top 5 defensive line. He probably won't run a whole lot, and so I dropped him and picked up Jared McKinnon instead.
My
didn't do crap.
Well, yeah, my dad has him on his roster, but I've completely ignored Rams running backs because like it's a running back by committee. Like Darrell Henderson is gonna get this game, but I bet you it's going to be Cam Akers or Malcolm Brown the next game. Yeah. Like, it's just, you can't really predict it.
That's what screwed me over with the Niners game was I wasn't paying attention. And so I'm like, oh no, Raheem Mostert's back. So we're running back by committee, quote unquote. But basically it's one of the running backs is getting the runs. One of the running backs is getting the fakes. And one of the running backs is getting the throws. And Jerick McKinnon got the fakes this game, so he got me 3 points.
Right. So I guess that's the next game, John. What happened to
I think we're playing the Patriots the next game, so I'm not putting Jerick McKinnon in.
That's you guys are playing the Rams next game.
Oh, I'm still not putting Jerick McKinnon.
But no, the Dolphins completely dismantled the 49ers. Yes. And it wasn't.
I woke up
rough.
To the end of this game. It was like, oh, cool, Fitzmagic.
No, it was. So Jimmy Garoppolo started this game. He got benched for CJ Beathard, and Nick Mullins wasn't even questioned because he wasn't even suited up. Like he wasn't active.
I don't like Kyle Shanahan anymore. He needs to get fired. Okay, why is CJ Beathard getting playing time? He is doo-doo.
Well, to be fair, Jimmy G threw 2 interceptions in the first first and second quarter. It was not a pretty game for him.
But he averages an interception a game. Okay, I don't understand. Like, yes, he's going to throw his picks, but he's going to throw his touchdowns later with it. Okay, he's Jameis Winston, but he's not as bad as 30 for 30. CJ Beathard is going to throw ducks, and then that's it. Okay, you're not getting anything out of him. What was the score when Garoppolo got benched? Had they scored yet?
I think it was like 20-7. Something like that. I could look at it. He got benched at halftime.
It might be, yeah.
He got benched at halftime.
30-7.
Okay, it was slightly worse than I thought, but yeah, he got benched at halftime, and then
CJ Beathard came in and scored 10 points.
Right.
I still take Jimmy Garoppolo over that, especially like the Dolphins have a good secondary. They lost Minka, but he was one of 4.
Well, they instantly drafted. Well, they signed the Dallas Cowboys defensive back, and then I believe they drafted another one. Yeah. So they got better.
Great defense in terms of secondary. I don't know about their front seven. I know they have Christian Wilkins
and Vagnoy from the Patriots.
Yeah, but he is working in this system because it's just the Patriots system. Okay, he's good here, but no other team should have got him. Okay, the Dolphins did a good job of getting him. So
no, this game, it was all Dolphins. Like
coaching by the 49ers. Like Kyle Shanahan's game plan failed, and he blamed Jimmy Garoppolo.
He pulled Jimmy G, right? And then after the game was like, I pulled him because his ankle was affecting his playing. So like, it wasn't because he was playing bad. Well, I guess it was because he was playing bad, but it was his ankle, guys. It was his ankle. Okay, it's just we brought him back too early. Don't worry, it's fine. Everything's okay. Don't worry about it. Which honestly, if I was the 49ers, I would just tank, like genuinely, just tank for the rest of the year.
That's what we did, and we got Nick Bosa out of it. I don't see why we wouldn't do it again.
Right, like just tank.
Let's go from 31st to 2nd.
Okay? If not tank, go like 7-9 or something, right? Like do something to get a player in that game. Right. Like that's what the Rams did last season. Like they tanked, quote unquote, right? And they had a good draft, and now they're doing better.
We need to lose to the Rams, lose to the Patriots. Like we were the number 1 seed. We can lose all these games. Okay, let's lose to the Rams, lose to the Patriots, lose to the Seahawks, lose to the Packers, lose to the Saints, lose to the Rams again, lose to the Bills. Okay, we'll beat Washington. We'll beat the Cowboys. Lose to the Cardinals. Lose to the Seahawks. Boom.
That's top 5 pick.
4-12.
Top 5 pick. Top 5 pick. Top 5 pick. And you could trade that. You can even trade that pick back because you guys aren't going to draft a quarterback, right? Yeah. At least not this year, because
we can go 8 Cardinals. We know you just got DeAndre Hopkins, but we got this snazzy looking 2nd overall pick over here.
I don't think they would. They got Kyler Murray, unless they think Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence is better than Kyler Murray. But like, you could probably do it to Washington, because I know they're in the quarterback market.
Yeah, but what are we gonna get for it? Like, bruh,
the draft assets.
Terry McLaurin.
Just draft assets, really. Just more picks, more. Because I know they have it. They have it, dude.
We'll go to the Redskins. Like, we'll take your entire assistant coaching staff. Clearly, those guys are good.
We'll trade you a 1st overall pick for an assistant. How about that? give us your offensive coordinator assistant, your special teams assistant, and that guy all the way in the back. What's his name? What does he do? He works with the long snappers. Cool. All right. We want him too. Yeah, we want him too. All right. That seems cool. I like that. Yeah, this is going to work.
Our long snapper actually had a bad game. Not this game. When was it? Let me look at our schedule. But the announcers were even talking about it, which I thought was really weird, because they were like, he's a veteran, he doesn't normally play this bad. It is very uncanny for this long snapper. And I'm like, bro, I didn't even know this guy. What are you talking?
Yeah,
it was back in I think the Giants game. Yeah, he had a terrible game, and I was like, damn, y'all know him?
Well, I know the Ram. Well, I don't know him by name, but like, if you lined up people and said one of these is a Rams long snapper, I could point him out. That's about it. Yeah, other than that, yeah, the 49ers should tank or something. And like they could definitely improve.
Uh-oh.
Huh.
Wait. When was this?
When was what?
Hold on. When was the Niners Giants game?
Last week.
No, wait. Oh no. No. 9/27.
Oh wait. What?
It was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks
It was
ago.
2 weeks ago. Last
What
week we played
the
'cause it
Eagles.
says we cut our long snapper 1930.
Oh man, long snappers. An organization usually like brings one in, and that's just the long snapper from now on. Like
3 days after his one bad game, he got
damn.
cut.
Well, I mean, it be like that.
Oh damn.
I mean, long snapper, like it's one of the few positions where like if you do good, you have it for the rest of your life, and if you just do bad, you're done. Like
all I'm saying is we haven't won a game without him.
Yeah, there's only 32 long snappers in the league. Like that's just some hardcore competition because no one has a backup long snapper.
Yeah, even in the game right now, the Saints game, they're talking about. I think the Saints or Chargers long snapper was not feeling too great, and they're like they don't have a backup.
The Chargers long snapper was like iffy, and then like at the end of the game that sent the game to overtime when the kicker missed, the announcers were like, "Oh my god, he's back in the game! He's back in the game!" It was like, oh man, this isn't great. Okay, Cowboys,
Dallas.
This one
if the Niners game
feels bad, man.
If the Raiders Chiefs game was a surprise, this is the second biggest surprise.
Not even
this game, the Giants Cowboys game. When I looked, the Giants.
Well, do you
were
know
up.
what happened?
I know what happened, yes, but when I looked at the scores, the Cowboys only had 3 points, and they were getting blown out by the Giants. And I was like, dang, this 0-14 is really sticking it to the Cowboys, who managed to beat their one win is against an 0-14.
Right.
And then the Cowboys came back, and then Dak
Something
Prescott
bad,
got hurt, and
dude.
then Andy Dalton came in and won the game.
Yeah, he did. Andy Dalton came in. Feels bad, man, for Dak because like they showed it on TV.
They showed it twice. I was like,
I watched that and I was like, oh my god, his leg is facing a completely different direction than the rest of his body. That is bad. That was oof. But, you know, apparently the surgery and whatnot was successful, so he should be back in like 6 months. So next season, woo!
Hey, no, we don't know. Okay, COVID might postpone this season. He'll be back for playoffs, bro.
Probably, yeah. Andy Dalton. Oh man,
all he's got to do is get them the 7th seed, and then Dak can take
no, the 4th seed, because somebody has to win that division. Someone has to win this division. There ain't no 7th seed for an NFC East team. It's 4th or nothing. Okay, John. Yeah,
I really wish the Giants would have won this game, though. It would have made this division so much more competitive.
It would have. Which one win makes this division more competitive. Oh, that's terrible. Now the Cowboys have an unfair lead. They got 2 wins. That's unfair for the rest of the league.
It would have been Eagles 1-3-1, Cowboys 1-4, Giants 1-4, Redskins 0-5.
No, Redskins 1-4.
No, because they beat the Eagles.
Right.
But it would have been all.
It would have made this league more fun. And then, well, we didn't talk about this, but the Rams sit atop the NFC East, and they swept every single NFC East team already. Pretty good.
NFC West.
No.
Oh, no, NFC East.
They've played, the Cowboys, New York, Washington.
They haven't played the Eagles yet?
They have. They beat them like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. So they've played every single NFC East team and have beaten them.
Best team in the NFC East?
Right. They're the best team in the NFC East. They beat all of them. I don't know. Well, so Andy Dalton's a starter now. Dak is dead. I think Dak leaves now. I think he's done with the Cowboys. I don't think Andy Dalton's a solution.
Free agent?
He's on a franchise. They franchise tagged him. They didn't get him. They didn't. He didn't get his money. So,
but he was balling out though. Like, let's be real. He was probably the 5th or 6th best quarterback.
Yeah, he
in
was
the
on
league.
pace to like destroy Manning's like, passing whatever.
Mhm.
Which I mean, every quarterback this year seems to be on pace to
Yeah.
break it, but like still, like
It's interesting though. He was the only quarterback of like, Patrick, Russ, Aaron, Josh. He's the only one who only had one win. He's the only one
right.
who wasn't winning games. So
So no,
that's
he wasn't
something.
talked about. Like he was balling
Mike
out. It's
McCarthy.
just he was just
Yeah.
losing, right? So no one cared.
Which again is like, yo, you shouldn't have hired Mike McCarthy, bruh.
Right. There's a reason he left the Packers, right?
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers
Well, if you
kind of
can't
knows
win with Aaron
people.
Rodgers, do you think you're gonna win with Dak Prescott?
No, I don't. But I genuinely believe Dak is gone, and the Cowboys
Probably.
are gonna. The Cowboys or Eagles are making the playoffs, and somehow, I think it's in the better interest of the Cowboys to lose as many games and be at the bottom of their division at the shot for like Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields, even Brock Purdy. Like they're way better off with drafting someone. Because Andy Dalton isn't the future of the Cowboys. Like,
you don't know. This is bounce back year. He comeback player of the year right here.
maybe. What if
They're gonna have 2 candidates. It's gonna be Andy Dalton or Alden Smith. Which Cowboy wins comeback player of the year?
No. Okay. Browns, Colts. Philip Rivers did his thing. He lost game.
No, he didn't. Okay, he didn't win by 1 point. Okay, you don't know what his thing is.
His thing's throwing interceptions, John, which I think he did in this game quite a bit. Colts, the Browns won, and then I think the Browns are like the number one defense in turnovers, so they cause turnovers and whatnot. But they're the worst defense in terms of they're letting 30 points per game, John. So,
okay, but their offense is scoring 31 per game. Okay,
so
he had
it's
one
fine.
bad game. The one time they didn't win was when their offense only scored 6 against the Ravens. So if you look at it, it's not the defense's fault that the offense wasn't on page that first game, okay? The defense just had to let them know, hey, we're going to give up 30 every game. You just got to know you got to score 31. And now that they know they were winning, they got a formula going.
They got a formula going. You're right. The defense just didn't tell the Browns, hey, you got to score points, which... I mean, we got some experience with that because we had a pretty good defense in high school and a terrible offense. And literally the mentality was always, we scored 2 touchdowns, we're good. We just have to score twice. Just scored twice.
Once in the first half, once in the second half, we're good.
We're good. The rest of the game,
And
just
sprinkle in some like kick returns every once in a while, and we're
golden, baby.
Final score 14-12 because we could make kicks and the other team couldn't.
Right, like we somehow managed to make a field goal. The Vikings Seahawks game annoyed me because at the end of the game, the Vikings are like 4th and 1. They can kick field goal, run it for 1 yard, get stuffed. Seahawks drive the length of the field, score. They win the game because bada bing, bada boom. Right? I should just kick the field goal.
Yeah, I'm looking. I mean, they won by 1 point, bruh.
Yeah.
You're 5-0. You beat this 1-win team by 1 point.
Right. Well, here's the thing.
Looking at the Vikings' other losses, or I guess the loss to the Titans was only 1 point, but the Vikings Packers game was 11, but they got blown out by the Colts. Never mind. I was gonna try and be nice to the Vikings, but they just suck. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, the Vikings aren't a good team, right? Well, they're a good team in the sense that they'll give you your money's worth, but they're most likely not going to win. The Seahawks, I'm starting to think that they're not as good as they say they are, because if you look at their wins, they're really close. Like the Vikings shouldn't be that close. The Dolphins shouldn't be that close. The Cowboys shouldn't be that close.
The Cowboys should have been that close because this was the worst and second worst defense going at it. Okay? Keep that in mind. The Patriots game should have been close.
Right. That one I'll give them. Should not have been
closer than you think it should have been. But after seeing the Dolphins blow out, actually, never mind. CJ Beathard played. Never mind. I'm. Yeah,
And
that one shouldn't have been that close.
they
But
beat the
this one,
Falcons fairly
if you
reasonably.
think the Vikings are a good team,
They're
then
an
this game
okay
should have
team.
been close. If you think they're a team that can keep it close, they're the team that's like gonna lose by 7 every week. Okay.
Right. Which I
But
think
you
this one
still
was a
shouldn't have
coaching like
down.
blunder at the end of the game. Like
Yeah.
they should have kicked the field goal, right? And then if the Seahawks go the length of the field, they now have to go for 2. And if they make the 2-point conversion, oh well, the game is tied, right? Instead of like, well, this is an interesting thing about coaching, right? Because like if they convert that 4th and 1 in the red zone, the game's done, right? Like they don't have, the Seahawks don't have the timeouts and whatnot to like, you know, and like get the ball back, because like they're just gonna kneel, like they're gonna kneel until they win. But they didn't convert, and now they're stuck with an L, right? So
which this I think is more of them saying they don't trust their defense, because if you don't think your defense can stop that team, the Seahawks, for I don't know how much time was left on the clock.
It was like
if you don't
minute 50.
Stop them with, I'd assume, under 2 minutes. Then you don't have faith in your defense. But in looking though, I mean, their defense gave up 43, 28, 31, 23 to an 0-3 Texans team, and now 27. They don't have a good defense,
right?
Which used to be their trademark.
Yeah, that was the Vikings' trademark, is a killer defense, or not like Legion of Boom killer, but like they're good,
consistent, and they were really good on special teams too, as they would get you blocked field goals and blocked punts and return kicks and things like that.
Right. The Chargers game made me really happy in fantasy because Keelan Allen caught one ball for a touchdown, won me my fantasy. That's all I needed. And he got injured after that, but it does not matter.
I hated you because you shouldn't have won.
I genuinely shouldn't have.
She had.
Well, she did.
No,
she did hit optimize. The only reason Melvin, what's his name, Melvin Gordon, is because they bumped the Broncos Patriots game to next week. It was Monday. It was today. But earlier today at like 2, but they bumped it to next week because the NFL released like their schedule. Like they were like, they came out with like a schedule revision of like, they bumped every single game. Like they moved the Jets around, and they moved like the Patriots around, the Titans around. Like they did all this magic to like fix their schedule. They did, and it did me great. I killed it, dog. I was out there with James Robinson, Antonio Gibson as my starting running backs, and I killed it.
Yeah, she lost out on like 20, 25 points, and she only lost by 6.
Right. Yeah. My team underperformed, and her team overperformed, and I killed it.
Shame.
It's awesome. Well, every single, like all my skill players underperformed, but like my defensive players and stuff overperformed to make up for like the difference.
Gosh, this game, I hated this game because I didn't like Justin Herbert coming out of the draft.
Right, he's doing really good.
And I watched it. I agree. I really like him now. I think when Josh Allen got drafted, I didn't like him or Josh Rosen coming out of the draft. I thought, and then
because they're white.
I liked Lamar Jackson coming out of the draft, and then he didn't play. They announced Joe Flacco was a starter, so I was like, I'll fall in love with Josh Allen instead. And so Josh Allen was like one of my favorite players that season.
Right.
And then so Josh Allen changed my mind, and I think Justin Herbert is going to do what Josh Allen. He's going to change my mind.
Yeah, he's been playing really well.
100% wrong about him coming into this draft.
Yeah, no, I think the major thing about him was like you watch him at Oregon and you go, he's murdering his wide receivers. Like he's not doing a good job, right?
In this game, every throw was good except the last throw of the game, in my opinion.
Right. The last like 2.
No.
Yeah.
So the last throw of the game was behind him. He had to jump back and catch it, so he didn't have the momentum to carry him over the line.
Right.
And then
Well, no,
Marshawn Lattimore didn't tackle him. What happened was Marshawn Lattimore was getting dragged, and then Demarius Davis came up and squashed him in half, and he had no momentum to keep going
right.
forward.
No, but I'm talking about the pass before that. I forget the receiver, and Herbert threw the ball behind him,
and he
the
dropped
receiver.
it. But what happened there was he threw the ball behind him, because if he threw it in front of him, the DB that was chasing the crossing receiver would have been right in the middle. So he either would have hit him in the helmet or thrown an interception.
Right.
So he had to throw it behind him, so it's out of the front DB's way, but close enough that he could still catch it. And it's just
The receiver didn't make the play.
The receiver didn't make the play, but at the same time, the Saints called like the oddly perfect play call to put the quarterback in such an awkward position where both the DBs were where they needed to be, and yet Justin Herbert, if he'd thrown it in front of the receiver and tried to lead him in, he would have thrown an interception.
Right.
He had to throw it where he threw it, and it was a good
ball. It's just the receiver didn't make the play, but if the receiver did make the play, first down, the Chargers are still going. Honestly, I was hoping for this is because I have another fantasy league where Drew Brees is my quarterback, but I'll probably pick up Herbert because Herbert's just better in my opinion, like fantasy wise. Yeah. But my hope.
Keep going.
Yeah, my hope was. The Saints kicked the field goal, which in my other league I have Will Lutz, so that's great for me too.
14 points.
Right, like that's great for me. But at the same time, a Drew Brees touchdown would be even better. So Chargers charge down the field, kick the field goal. The Saints charge down the field, Drew Brees touchdown, and I win my other league, no doubt. Now I need Stephon Diggs to like ball out and put my lead out of like reach, whatever, right? Because like the other guy has like another player playing on Tuesday as well. So
another big story in this game is that Michael Thomas is no longer hurt. Instead, he chose to throw a punch at Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, and now he's facing disciplinary action and can't play. And when asked if this will last only 1 week, Sean Payton says, "We'll talk about the players that played."
Okay, no, here's my big brain conspiracy theory from this game. Okay, John. All right, let's put our little tinfoil hats on. Okay. Michael Thomas was perfectly healthy, got into this fight, broke his hand, and instead of announcing that he was injured again, they were just like, we're gonna bench him because the Saints have a bye week next week, so they're fine. Okay, do they have a bye week next week? Yeah, they have a bye week next week, so he'll be fine with his broken hand come week 7.
Was it because of a hand injury he wasn't playing all this time?
No, it was an ankle injury.
Ankle injury, okay.
So he healed from that. Like he was supposed to play in this game, or like he was okay to play. Like maybe he's not 100%, but they were gonna trot him out.
He was going to play this game.
Maybe like a rep count or something. But yeah, he was gonna play. So and then he threw a punch, did some like I don't know. Antonio Brown stuff. Did Antonio Brown ever throw a punch? Or who am I thinking of?
At the police, I think.
No, I don't think he ever threw punches at police. I know he like threw stuff at moving people. I remember that. That was a funny little thing.
I don't know. I just checked his Instagram live footage.
Let's see what we did.
We'll find something.
Who threw Terrell Owens? Did he throw punches at teammates? Someone
no,
threw punches.
Never had any. Terrell Owens never had any problems off the field. Anything anyone ever disliked about him happened on the field.
Okay.
I hate him getting compared to Randy Moss because Randy Moss had legitimate like
was it Randy Moss?
The law.
Okay.
And T.O. is like, but I just stand in the start. Why you bitch?
Yeah, no, I did. I like. Yeah, Terrell. I like the shenanigans because he definitely played in the no fun league. Like pulling the phone out of the like upright, hilarious.
He's the reason we have the no fun league.
You're right. Like, the no fun league is a little bit nicer now, right? You can do your little TikTok dances in the end zone and whatnot now, but like pulling a phone out of the upright, like, that's classic. Like that is hilarious.
The fact that he had a pen in his sock.
Oh, I remember. that was a good celebration. But yeah, Michael Thomas not playing in this game. I guess it didn't ultimately hurt the Saints, but like it hurt the Saints, right? Like you put him in a bad spot.
Shoved it down Alvin Kamara's throat again. Like, bruh, he's. If I were Alvin Kamara, I'd be pissed. I'd be like, bruh, I'm not. Because there was one play I saw. He threw it to him like 8 yards behind the line of scrimmage. And I'm like, what are you expecting him to do there?
No,
like, he got tackled, obviously.
I was like pissed because I think that was like the first drive, and like I had to go do something at like 6, and that was like the only drive I watched like up until like the third and fourth quarter when I came home, and he threw that behind the line of scrimmage, and he ended the drive like with -5 passing yards and like negative 0.20 like fantasy points. I was like, really we're gonna do this? Like we're gonna come out here and do negative fantasy points? This is some BS. All right, like why are we gonna do this? This is ridiculous. Honestly, I don't like the Chargers, but
they should have won this game.
I was hoping for their win.
For the kicker, because it's like, it hit the goal post. And if you look, he didn't even look mad. He looked like, bruh, really? That's how I missed it? Like, he was half smiling under his helmet. And I think he thought that he was going to get another shot to kick later.
Right.
And he didn't.
He did not.
3 days. In 3 days, he's gonna get cut.
Yeah, he's gonna get cut. It is how it is. Which honestly, if you can hit the upright, like that's.
I mean, it was what, a 50. He was tying his career long, wasn't
he? I think his career long is like 59, and that was like a 55, something like that. So like it was close.
Long field goal.
Right, like. I mean, that was a desperation field goal.
I mean, and they said he'd only kicked 2 field goals at the end of a game like that in his career. Right. He made them both and won, but
it's just you can't expect.
I was like, he wasn't a Chargers kicker when he made those 2 last.
Right. The Chargers have a bad rep with kickers. It's not fun, and then on top of that, it's the Chargers. Like they just have bad luck with stuff, which I guess their luck will turn around. I hope they trade Tyrod or something, give him another shot. That's my one thing. Is Tyrod deserves better than what he got. Like,
Kyle Shannon, if you're gonna bench Jimmy, go get Tyrod Taylor. Like, don't get CJ Beathard, please. I don't want to see that man on my field ever again, please.
Right. No. Well, also this league was another week of people, just dying and getting hurt. It's rough out here. Dak is done for the rest of the season. Who else? I guess Dalvin Cook was close to being done for the rest. He barely survived. He's day to day now. Christian McCaffrey, I think, is going to come back next week or the week after that. So he's going. He somehow survived his injuries. Tomorrow, Tuesday, when this drops, the Bills Titans play. I think did we already say this? Did we already talk about this game?
What?
Bills Titans.
No, we haven't talked about that game, but I have quite a bit writing in this game. I need Stephon Diggs.
I also need Stephon Diggs to ball out.
So he has not scored less than 14 points in any game. Right. I need him to get me 13 and I win. And I'm projected to win right now. And I wasn't projected to win going into this game. I was projected to lose by 18. Now I'm projected to win by 4. Right. I needed him to get me 13 points. 13 points. So I can win by 0.3.
Which that's all I needed. I just needed Keenan Allen to score 5 points and I'd win. And he just scored a touchdown and I was like, that's perfect. Like I don't care anymore. He died shortly after that. Like so it's like, which I'm fine.
That was another thing I noticed in the game was Marshawn Lattimore played terrible.
He did.
That game.
He got bullied. He got bullied.
That he got credit for the tackle at the end of the game. The announcer was like, Marshawn Lattimore saved it. I'm like, no. He grabbed Mike Williams by the waist and was getting dragged. And then Demario Davis came in and squashed Mike Williams down. Mike Williams thought he got hurt, I think, because he
Yeah.
came back up and he was like rolling around like, "Bruh, am I okay?" But
It
Miles
hurt.
Davis
It
needed that
hurt.
game, not Marshawn Lattimore.
No, yeah, no, Stephon Diggs. Which honestly, I was looking at it and I was like, I was debating whether or not I want you or Demetrius to win, right? Because if you win, I'm stuck at third.
I know. I wanted you to lose. I wanted Giselle to win, and stupid bye weeks made you win.
Right.
So,
Well, to be fair, I should have lost because Aaron Jones isn't playing this week, right?
Yeah.
Like I shouldn't win when my number one running back is just gone.
Yeah.
Which honestly, I want Demetrius to win, but at the same time, I want Stephon Diggs to go off, and those two things can't happen.
Demetrius winning though is if he wins, he jumps to second, and
Right.
you jump to third, and I drop to fourth. So like, no matter how it plays out, you don't get second, and no matter how it plays out, I'm not going up at all. I can only go down.
Well,
so for me, I hope I win this because the next week I play Isaiah, and if I beat him, I'm number one. If I don't,
that's the thing.
Stay at number two.
Yeah, right. Which, actually, yeah, I will. I honestly, it'd be better if you win, right? Because just dropping Isaiah out of number one,
that would because it'd make it closer with everyone. Right. That's the thing is, if I lose, Isaiah's ahead by 2 games now.
Right.
And so that number 1 seed, which is what we all really want. Is
honestly, I'm happy with the number 2 seed because number 2 seed is Ruben. Okay.
See, my thing is, I'm okay with Ruben playing him, but if he's got enough players and
Ruben's got the talent. Lineup, he has the talent.
Could win if they go off. Jordan, I know I'm winning. Okay, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, the number 1 seed is Pride because Jordan's team is just terrible. Like he could pick up a way better running back than J.K. Dobbins. Okay, like you can do that.
Running backs are dead, and he could go pick up another running back. Like he just doesn't pay attention. So
or he makes terrible decisions.
Yeah, playing him is the prize. But so I want to win this week, and then I want to beat Isaiah. And even if Isaiah scores more, like because it's the rankings is based off points. So even at the end of next week, Isaiah has more points than me. If I win, that only puts him up by half a game.
Right.
So that's what I want to happen.
Like the point differential has favored Isaiah so much because like he hasn't even broke 200 points again. Same with Giselle. She hasn't even broken 500. Yeah, she's gotten so lucky with like who she's played.
No, she's at 601.
No points against. That's what I'm talking about.
She's at 477.
Yeah, like points against. She hasn't played anyone that's like.
I have as many points against me as Isaiah has scored, and I'm second place.
Same here. I have more points against me than Isaiah has scored, and I have way more than he scored, or I mean 20 more. But like we both are in the same range of how many points we scored.
Yeah,
and Isaiah just isn't in that range. Well, Jordan. He's bottom of actually, you'd think the way we talk about his teams and whatnot, you think he's getting blown out every single week. Not really. He's
down by 100 points. 100 points. He has scored less. He's got 477 and he's got 575 against him. So it's a big number, but that's a week, right?
Yeah, that's
if he wins 1 week. That flips.
Which is it's just that like. It's bad play on his team that's been doing him in. It's not bad play on other teams because there's been weeks with both his team and the other team are terrible. It's just his team is worse, which it's rough out here. I don't know. I'm happy. I won. Next week, I'm going to be full strength with Aaron Jones, and I'll have to pick between James Robinson and Antonio Gibson and who to start or who to be at the second running back spot. Other than that, I could...
I'm hoping Jerick McKinnon's off the team and Christian Smith is going to replace him because then I think I have a real shot at beating Isaiah.
The only reason Isaiah's also been doing really good is because one of his running backs died and he lucked into Mike Davis that's been doing really good. So if Mike Davis...
Didn't he pick up Le'Veon Bell? Isn't that his running back who died?
Oh, shit, was it?
Or does he still have his guy on injured reserve?
No, he doesn't have any backup running backs.
Yeah, it was probably Le'Veon Bell then.
Oh, it's weird. I think he thought it was season injury or season ending, but I have Le'Veon Bell in my IR for no real good reason, just because people be dying, so I need that security blanket. Honestly, yeah. That's sports ball. You got any more sports, John?
Nope, I got no more sports.
Oh well, Thursday Chiefs Bills, which I think that got pushed back to like Sunday, but just in case.
Bills, Titans, Bills. That's on Tuesday. That's tomorrow.
No, week 6 Chiefs Bills Thursday.
Oh, it says Thursday still.
It says Thursday still, but I think it got pushed back. So just for safety reasons,
just for case.
Yeah.
This
is gonna be a good game. This is gonna be a good game.
I don't know if I don't see the Chiefs as a team that's losing 2 games in a row.
But the Bills are undefeated and really good.
Okay, but here's
undefeated as of right now. Right.
No. The Bills are playing tomorrow.
Right.
If the game is on Thursday, they have 1 day of practice. And they have 1 day to move. If they push it back to Friday or Saturday, that still gives them less time than the Chiefs are getting. So I don't know how well they come prepared against a team like the Chiefs.
Or if they know they have such a short turnaround from Bills to Titans to Chiefs, maybe they prepare more for the Chiefs than they prepare for the Titans, and they lose the Titans game. Right?
Yeah.
So I think the Chiefs. I'm taking the Chiefs.
You're sticking with Bills in this game though?
Against what? The Titans?
Yeah, we both picked the Bills to beat the Titans.
I mean, we already said they would. I don't see why they would lose this game. I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like they're gonna lose one of these two games.
They're losing one of these. I'm gonna say they lose
the Chiefs.
Game.
Chiefs. They lose the Chiefs, which isn't a bad loss. Genuinely,
this is. I mean, they're the second best team in the NFL. Okay.
Wow.
If they lose this game, wow.
Oh man, sad. Like they're still leading their division by a good margin and whatnot. Yeah. Which it's the Patriots division, yada yada yada, whatnot, right?
This is really these bye games are really screwing up division ranks. So the Titans are now behind by 2 games.
Are they? Oh yeah, technically, huh?
Yeah.
Because actually, no, they're ahead because they're undefeated. Are
they? They're ahead without having played 2 games.
No, the Titans have not played 1 game. They're 3-0. They didn't play against the Steelers, and now their game's on Tuesday against the
5.
Yeah, they're 3-0. They haven't played 1 game, and this is week 5. Tomorrow, Tuesday, is week 5.
Oh, it still counts as that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Okay.
Yeah. So I think sports. Yeah.
Sports. We know how it works.
Yeah. Sports ball. All right. You're all sported out. I'm all sported out. I think that's the end of the show. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a good one.